move blight downtown, the TIF is to provide an incentive for economic development in a blighted area also. I remember my very good friend, Mr. Wolf, is he still here? We shouldn't proceed fast. Alan, are we going to live fast? Mr. Wolf, 30 years later, is saying, I think we're moving just a little bit too fast. I said that not to belate my friend, in which I like very much, but to show you that when ideas come by, you will have opposition. One always fears the unknown. This is why we fear God. This is why we fear the darkness. And I can just go on and on and on. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. Thank you.
Okay, I'd just like to let everyone know we are not against the TIF, we are all for the TIF. The only thing we want is clarifications. Everyone said they were born and raised here. I was born and raised in London. I've lived in Pennsylvania, I've lived in New Orleans, I've lived in Cleveland. We made Alexandria our home because we saw hope in Alexandria. So we are all for this, but do we really need another economic board? We already have 5. We need to get whatever needs to be approved for the city to move on and make it successful, and that's why we're here. We have several hotels here, not in just one area, and it's for the benefit of all of us for the TIF, but we need to do it the right way. We need time and we need more clarifications on what it's going to be accountable to. One of the things is, will voters be asked to approve any of the public funds by the district? We need to ask that question. Who's going to, will we as voters and as taxpayers be asked when they approve these funds for certain buildings, whatever, will our input be in that?
And I could answer that, Mr. Dixon, is that within the bill, the plan is developed by the board, and then it is presented to the governing body of the city for review. The board also has to have public meetings throughout the entire process. So the board develops a plan, it presents it to the city council for its review, and then if the board elects to implement it with dollars, then the whole plan has to go to the public for vote. So this is public participation at its greatest. I mean,
but we need that written in the bill that it will be for the public.
It's in the bill.
It is in the bill?
Yeah, it's in the bill. And that's the thing that, and if I may at this, I'm sorry, I didn't want to. Yeah, it's in the bill where it says the board shall formulate a redevelopment plan or plan for the district and submit any plan to the governing authority of Alexandria for review. And then it goes on when it talks about the financing. It says the tax to repay the bonded indebtedness shall be levied through an ordinance adopted by the district board only after a special election is held for the purpose of approving the tax by a majority of the electors voting.
What page are you reading?
That's page 58, line 27.
John, within the district or within the city or what?
That, you know, I heard Mr. Dixon's statement that it's the entire city. You know, that probably has to be clarified, whether it's just the voters in the district or whether it's the city.
And that's why we'd like more time.
Well, you talk about more time. The point is that answer can be there. If you wanted to have an amendment to the bill, you call Mr. Dixon, even before it's presented on Wednesday, or you have until it passes the House, which is 2.5 months.
But I think the public should have more confidence in this bill. And we don't. And like I say, we're all for the TIF, we're all for improvement because it benefits everybody. That's all I have to say.
Anybody else? Yeah. Okay.
If you think I'm a monster, my name is Gail Underwood, but I'm outspoken, and I'm a 4th-generation Alexandrian. I'm all for growth. I'm going to tell you who created this monster. After 21 years of working for the Rapides Parish School Board, I am Mr. DeWitt Dixon. Thanks for giving me the confidence to stand up for what I firmly believe. Joe Fuller, you created a monster for the city. Comments. Mr. Snyder, you commented that when a business goes under, it's the investor that loses, whether it's Morgan Stanley or...
No, not when it goes, what happens is that if there's not enough money to pay back the bond, the bond investor is the loser.
As a taxpayer, if my taxes are raised, I'm going to be the loser. Okay? That's my comment. Who else will benefit? When a tax is put on property owners as a landlord, and I'm not a slumlord, because what I can't live in, I don't want. Okay? If I'm going to be taxed, I'm going to be forced, and myself and other landlords that have a lot more than I do, to raise the rent. I'm just barely kind of like breaking even with the insurance has gone up so high for me. Okay, city taxes. When I go out to eat, which I'm not a cook, so we eat out a lot, but I can sure learn to cook and go to Mama's quite often. Pineville. Pineville will not have this tax. Pineville is no longer a Sleepy Hollow. I remember when you didn't cross the Red River, because we didn't know where you were going because it was piney woods. But thanks to the mayor over there, Clarence Field, it's a booming competition now. I'm going to cross over and I'm going to McDonald's over there because I'm stubborn. Asked Herbert. We need to follow the money. The council is always stressing to come in and bring local builders and local investors. To me, I think it's going to be a lot of outside people getting a lot of money. Follow the money. Mr. Charrier, you brought up a comment, and I agree with you. I need to join your society because I'm an Alexander history nut. Okay? Until we, on both sides of town, north, south, east, and west, until we teach our people and our young people to take pride in it. Whenever I cross this city, I'm an old Enterprise girl. Y'all know where Enterprise is? I'm a tomboy. Okay. I was out the other day working on one of my houses. Someone drove down Station Street, threw out their leavings of a snack shop, right in the middle. Guess who picked it up? Why? My first job in the mornings when I go over there, clean up my mother's front yard, clean up my roundhouse yard. Till we start teaching pride and getting our young people interested in things, we're not, whether we have Walmarts, Kmarts, Hiltons, whatever, we're not going to have nothing. And that's our generation. It's not anybody's fault. And I'm sorry to say, it's my generation that's created these little young people that don't have pride. And I'm ashamed of it. Governor General and the legislature is now looking at giving businesses tax incentive, which I would gladly go along with. I don't have a business. I retired from the school board as a teacher's aide. And boy, don't ever retire if you're a teacher's aide, because you'll never make it. Governor Jindal and the legislature now wants to give business incentives and tax breaks. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Why give businesses tax incentives when you're going to tax the rich, the poor, and the middle class? The more taxes we have on, people can't pay me my rent on time. Lord, I'm a good person. Please don't tell my tenants that. But there's times that I work with these people because they cannot come up with their rent money the 10th of the month. The more taxes we're going to pay as an individual, the less you businesses are going to make. Where is the business going to go? They're going to go across the river. Hey, like I told Mr. Sherry, he talked to me at the last Wednesday night meeting. I played on this ground. My daddy had his office here when it was the old courthouse. I've seen Alexandria deteriorate a lot faster. I've even made the comment, if it wasn't for my mother still being here on this earth, I'd be in somewhere else, possibly Canada. But virtually, I see, and I don't appreciate being a taxpayer, being asked to fund businesses from out of state and private businesses. When my husband and I first started this years ago, we had to get bank loans. We funded our business, and if it wouldn't be for my business enterprise right now and my family, I wouldn't make it on the school board retired employee's salary. I'm not the bearer of good news, and I'm fixing to quit, but I did get a lot said in 3 minutes last time. Gentlemen, wake up. Alexandria needs to first take pride. We have contracts now. I was told just the other day, Enterprise, the sewage, they have no money. A gentleman just told me this morning, someone in another area was told they cannot fix the street because there's no money. We don't have the money. I'm all for you making businesses and making it and grow. That's what we need. But to tax the private citizens, it's not going to go.
Okay. We're gonna have just a few comments, and we're gonna start with those that hadn't said anything yet. Yes, Mr. Okay.
I got 3 things concerned about the bill.
Okay.
Number one, everybody keeps talking about new taxes, but if I understand a tax increment, it's not new taxes, but rather new revenue as a result of inflation or additional business.
That's correct.
We're not talking about passing taxes, although the bill does provide that you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2 is, you spoke earlier about having elections in which people would be voting on taxes possibly parish-wide. But the Constitution, I think it's Article 6, Section 29, I read it the other day, but I don't remember. I think that's it. It's not as Article 7. But anyway, it says that political subdivisions may raise taxes within the subdivision. So unless you provide something in this bill that's parish-wide, the district cannot raise taxes outside of its own boundaries.
Right, right.
Okay, and number 3 is a technical issue, but I read where you have terms for everybody else, and the 8-member board's going to elect the 9th person. You're going to have a provision for his term.
Right, and then the intent is for the 8-member board to make that pronouncement of what that term is going to be for that 9th member.
So,
And need to better clarify.
conceivably serve beyond 4 years?
No, I think all of them are going to have staggered terms. And Cliff, what did y'all?
The next one is 4 years, and I don't think that the board would make another member more than the maximum year.
But I don't see it provided.
Well, it wasn't provided, and that's one of the reasons that we're having this discussion, so eyes like yours will see.
Yes, ma'am.
And another technical issue, just for your information that I caught as well. The facility use fee or whatever, I don't believe it clarifies in there that it's on new facilities, because the museum and the conference honors, they
Right.
would tax people out of going to the museum if you had a facility use on existing facilities here. So that probably needs to be clarified.
Another good point. Mr. Moulder, ED?
I think it's actually important.
Okay. And that's what the reason, that was the call for this meeting. Only after I see anybody new that want to talk. Yes.
You're talking about economic development. Any place you go
Come.
in town is looking for help. I have been
You wanna
unable
come?
to find help
You wanna come right here?
1906. 2006.
Okay.
I've been looking for help. And nobody wants to work. They'll work a week, a month, then they go find something else. Or they go on unemployment.
Okay.
You're looking for more jobs? We got plenty of jobs opening here. Walmart, any of those locations are looking for help. And we want to bring more business into town. Not against business, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
That's fine. I was asking, wanted to ask you, how many employees are you looking for right now?
Right now, we need at least another 10.
Another 10?
Okay, may I have it? They listen at you, Please listen at these folks that are coming to the mic.
My name is Kelvin Coney, and I'm from Louisiana. I'm born and raised in Natchitoches. Been back to Alexandria for about 6 years. I'm an engineer by degree, and I've had the opportunity to leave the state and live in 4 different states. All of them did economic development in their downtown areas. I'm for anything that can better the city, and I'll tell you my first reason why. I'm married, got twin boys, and my personal situation is that in about 2 years I'm gonna have to relocate, okay? Because I work for a company that relocates. And when I graduated from high school, I couldn't find employment that was willing to hire me with a 3.4 GPA coming out of college that could provide me a career. So what we're talking about here today is we're talking about opportunities to bring industry, business in this city that provides, number one, a fair wage for your skill, whether it's a degree skill or a skill that's working in a restaurant or working in a hotel, working anywhere like that. I work in manufacturing today. We have turnover rates with hourly employees that we contract out at 100%. Now you ask yourself why? Because the businesses doesn't provide the type of pay, insurance, and retirement to retain folks. So you have attrition. And anything that folks feel like that you won't grow as a company because you have other folks coming in here that provides you an opportunity to provide an individual to have a fair wage, have an individual to have employment, to provide them some insurance, provide them some retirement, where I can go frequently to folks' hotels in this downtown area, outside of this downtown area, to spend my extra cash. You know, the cash that I'm all ready to pay the rest of my bills. And folks, this is so important. I lived in St. Louis where they had villas, and I didn't understand what a villa was because I'm not a real estate agent, but that's when you get above $600,000-$700,000. They don't call them condos anymore, they call them villas, okay? All right? And it was built off of Martin Luther King Drive on Lucas and Hunt in St. Louis down the street from the churches, okay? And we all stereotype, and we know those type of businesses are put in depressed areas, okay? And folks, we're sleeping through a revolution when you have a city as powerful as this, with a major interstate, major waterway, and an airport that has the ability to fly in huge airplanes, and we're not utilizing it, okay? I work in corporate America. We've done huge expansion in this city in the last couple of years, okay? We brought millions and millions of dollars worth of cash to the city. Why can't we provide businesses that can come in this city that provide people an opportunity to work in a hotel and have a retirement, to work in a restaurant and have a fair wage and have a retirement? You shouldn't have to work in manufacturing for the top Fortune 500 companies to get that. That's not the American dream. That's not the dream that we talk about today. So as you think about what this is about, think about what your hopes are and what's your fears. Your fears to drive your hopes. Okay? There's a legislative process that you go through to do anything. It happens day in and day out. We are taxpayers. We have a chance to input to that legislation process. But don't stagnate. You talk about crime. Crime is a reflection of wages and people's personal income. I don't care where you live. If the area is depressed, you're going to have increased crime. Okay? We don't have crime in Tennyson Oaks. You know, we don't have it. Okay? And I personally live there. We don't have it. But when you go to another subdivision, you have a high probability. Your insurance is higher and everything else. So this is the time and this is the opportunity for us to do something different in this city that I call breakthrough. Okay? And there are some fears. Okay? But I would question you to understand what are your hopes. And get that to the right folks in leadership to eliminate those fears. Because if you don't, we're going to be, like a gentleman said, we're going to be talking about this for the next 30 years. Okay? And I've seen major cities do this very successful. I've read on the internet what are some of the opportunities. That's a huge opportunities in everything you do. But we elect public officials that's supposed to have the integrity, you know, and the ability to go off and do the things that we want them to go do. If they're not doing that, we have the right to vote them out. That's what I've been told. Okay? All right? So I would tell you to understand what are your fears, okay? and provide that in a position of your hopes, because I will hope one day, me being from Louisiana, that I can have my extended family living in this city or a city like Natchitoches, so I can see my grandkids. It hurts me every day when I lived in Missouri or Ohio, or Kentucky, and I couldn't. My mother and father couldn't see the birth of my kids. Okay, all right. But some folks have had that privilege and opportunity here, but other folks haven't. And how do we move this? How do we move this to a point where in the future we have that possibility? It's all about possibilities. So that's what I wanted to say, because I've heard a lot of dialogue, but there's opportunity in this city that's unknown from what I've personally seen in some of those cities that I've lived in. And I questioned from day one, I questioned my kids this morning. They say, Daddy, where are we going on vacation? Okay? And there was hardly anywhere in Louisiana that I decided to go on vacation, okay? It was from Destin to Orlando to Miami. They was like, we went to San Diego last year. Well, what about other families that live in Louisiana? How many times do they choose Alexandria as a place to come visit for a vacation? Because what do we have to offer? Okay? So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much. Okay, I don't want to shorten, be here as long as you want to be here, but I want to get to anyone that had not had a chance to speak, that want to speak. I'm gonna let him sum up, or a few of y'all sum up, but any more questions, concerns from the audience? Mr. Picardo, I know you wanted to say something. And Sherry, did you want to say? No, okay.
I want to make a comment about the young man that just spoke. He did a fantastic job. I'd like to make this comment. One of the things we have done through the years is wait. I've heard the story from the audience. Why don't we wait? We waited 100 years to get I-49 through town. We waited 100 years to get a riverway that's practical, that we can use as a boating. In other words, these are the things we've been waiting on. Now we got the opportunity with these two major elements in place. Why do we have to wait to do what our congressman is trying to get done for us? He's doing it within 2 months, what we've been waiting for God knows how long. I'm suggesting that the only thing can go wrong with this is if it goes to the legislature while it's doing that process, while it's in that process. We have the opportunity to take issue with anything that comes up before it's finally voted. That's us the people. So let's don't wait any longer to take advantage of a great opportunity that we have. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else hadn't had a chance to speak that would like to speak? If not, right, you did it. You had your questions answered, Mr. Smart. Okay. Anyone on the panel? Clifford, you had your hand up? Okay. Okay, Mr. Tudor.
I'd just like to reiterate one more time, because I keep hearing some of the same things repeated that aren't really part of the TIF. To talk about this putting new taxes on people is not what a TIF is about at all. A TIF is about bringing in new businesses, expansion of existing businesses, leaving the same taxes that are here, but using the income off of those taxes to help encourage those expansions and the new. I just wanted to, one more time, say that, because that's very, very important, and is the heart of the whole thing. If anyone leaves thinking that this is going to be able to add taxes onto existing businesses outside or inside, it's not about that. It's about using the present tax structure to move forward.
And that's why I wanted this meeting in this room, because I want people that did not have an opportunity to come here to understand these elements very clearly. If they look at Channel 4 over and over again and they run it often, rather than somebody telling them that it's going to be, they can see for themselves what it's going to be and hear the individuals that's concerned with this issue speak both pro and con. Yes, sir.
Just a real quick question. It says there's no new
Come on,
taxes.
come on.
I can be heard from here. But it says add authority to the district to impose and collect a facility use fee. A fee to me is another tax. Is that not correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's a new tax.
that's a fee.
Fee is a tax.
It's not on anyone that's outside of the district.
Okay, but I didn't see it defined as to what it's going to be attached to or how it's going to be imposed.
I gave some good examples.
It's on new facilities, a use fee, or could be but it has to be with a vote, as I understand the way.
It's with a vote, it's through a board, and it's new facility, and you're right. There's going to be an increase on that person that takes an interest to invest his money in this district after that board gives him some incentive for him to do so. He also takes with that a certain amount of fees that he will pay that will rebate himself back to the board.
But what he's asking, and what was previously being asked to clarify, is make certain it is in this legislation that you can't come in and impose user fees on existing districts.
Right.
Only on you.
And we made that clarify. You asked the question after Ms.
Right, I just didn't
Ms.
enjoy
Jordan,
yes,
and
yes.
and we made a note that to go back into the legislation and look at it.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
One last comment, and I was listening to, Mr. Tudor, and, being poor is terrible, because being poor, you're being penalized. When he was saying that, location of business are based on what the income is, you know, but people don't realize poor people spend the majority of their money on consumer goods. Now, it may be out of Kroger's across town, but I live over here, but I got to go to Kroger's to get what I want to get. So if you have, businesses like on I-49, now I love Fred's. Fred's is in town, but I pay an extra gas to go to Fred's because I like Fred's. So if you have something, a business in the lower 30 area off the I-49, you know, and there's a business that may be from the outside, a chain business, you know, and if that's what you used to shop at, a Kohl's or whatever it is, you want to come to that area because the color of money is green. Okay, so that's all I want to say.
And I'm gonna end it up now, and I want to close with what Ms. Bright said. One of the other things that I don't think we talked about that too much, if you get new startup businesses in this new TIF area, it's supposed to bring jobs with it. And maybe some of those very jobs that you're talking about that pay a decent wage with benefits that can up the income level for even more businesses locating themselves within the TIF. Unless there's someone else that want to talk, I want to thank you very much for taking up a Saturday to come here to share your views. I'm going to get with those technical folks with the ED in their particular areas. I'm going to continue to entertain questions from you. My office is on Broadway. You can get the number. Janet, what's my number? 487-5661. We want to continue this dialogue, and I want to thank you again for coming.
Good luck to you.